Hi folks, Barnaby Dixon here. So in this week's episode, we'll be rebuilding DABCHICK'S feet. We'll be reusing some metal elements from the prior feet, so if you see them popping up, that's where they came from. And there will be an ASMR feet-themed sequence, so if you're into that kind of thing, stay tuned. You freaks. Okay, got 1 foot here and 1 toe. We only need 1 toe because the toes are all the same actually in terms of the shape. And we only need 1 foot because both feet are the same too. These are some of the most delicate pieces and I found these pieces breaking quite a lot. So the other one is a little bit more busted up. So we'll go with this one and we'll scan it as a single piece. That way it saves time when it comes to creating the 3D model and the scanning process. I've printed off DABCHICK'S feet with minuscule supports and then soaked it overnight in isopropyl alcohol so that when this breaks off, it will have minimal resistance and be incredibly, incredibly satisfying. Yeah. All right, that'll do, you weirdos. You might be wondering why DABCHICK'S feet are black in this instance. Well, on this channel, we care a lot about diversity, but also the black resin that we own is by far the strongest. Okay, this is the final part for the assembly of the feet. I have some bits already. It's a thicker grade of silicone. I think... no, here we go. Okay, got the feet, got the silicone in here, which is the new batch. That looks about the right size. Don't need too much. Probably that'll do us, actually. We'll get the ankles on first. So that's the silicone going over these bits. It's tough to get on, but then it'll be tough to get off, which is what you want, really, because you want these things to be secure. What can really help is getting like a bit of cloth and using that for grip, because it's very easy to slide over your fingers, whereas bit of material gets a better grip. See it going up there? You see it's bumping up against my finger, so that's far enough. And we'll get about that much off. And then we'll get the foot piece on like that. There we go. Now the thinner silicone here, get that over the toe. Okay, that looks good. A little more central. Yeah. And then we trim, yeah, like that maybe. Then we get one of the toe pieces. We've got loads of these. And we slot that in the top. Okay, so this is very, very tough. I could get something just to hold it in there. I don't want to snip through it, obviously. But, yeah, that helps. Yeah, it's coming. You know what's interesting is I'm stretching this over here. The toe part of the silicone assumes a much lighter tone. And truthfully, it's close enough that it's not really an issue, but I do have a slightly lighter grade of silicone that I could use in place of the ankle piece. So let's go grab that. There we go, that's the stuff I nearly grabbed to start with. Let's compare. Oh yeah, no doubt, let's do the lighter stuff. Let's take this ankle off. This will give you a sense of how strong this silicone is. Actually, that was quite easy. What a way to ruin a point. Actually, it does strengthen over time, and that's because, you know, when I lick the piece, usually that dries and it makes it more firm. Let's pull that out. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, bugger. Okay, so as I was pulling that away, the milliput cracked, and that implies to me that it's actually not strong enough for the job. Yeah, look at that, it's just cracking away. Yeah, so I'm going to use epoxy glue mixed with a little bit of, well, in fact, we don't need to add a color because the silicone adds the color. Let's see how easy this one comes off too. Oh yeah, easy, easy, easy. So I actually decided to use this forge stuff as opposed to the epoxy resin because it'll cure a lot faster. So this is like a thermoplastic, but it's infused with some threads. So even if we have the issue that we had with the original DABCHICK where it breaks down, the thermoplastic, I mean, it will have the threads inside to keep everything together. I use this a lot on that theatre project. So I'm just heating this up and rolling it around. It's got a good stretch to it too. So just going around like that. Okay. That's a neat cut. Let's just do this, hey? and then wrap it around itself. And that should be, yeah, that looks good to me. Cool it down like this. Okay, so I'm gonna heat it a bit more and shape it and flatten it just a little bit. And that way, you can almost force the silicon that's over it to bend in a certain way. So if it's on a flat surface and the silicon goes over the top, it's more likely to do that. If it's on a round one, it could bend in any direction, and Dabchick could roll his ankle occasionally, which wouldn't be ideal. So let's test it out before we do the other one to see if it works. Good. And get this one over there. Ah, slips right over. That looks great. What a consistent color. Okay, I'll show you the rest of this, but honestly, it's just the same process that you've already seen. So I'll speed through this bit. Okay, so there's one foot done. I can tell you a little bit about the foot design. I don't know how many versions I went through, but I like this one a lot. And one of the reasons is this kind of slight gripping position. And I'll tell you why that's useful. So it can flatten to a very flat position just with a little bit of pressure, but it also doesn't look terribly out of place on a more rounded surface like this. And for a stepping motion, you can see that back toe interacts with the ground first and gives the impression that the ankle is rolling down so that the foot interacts with the ground, and then the toes give the impression of pushing off like that. Really, really nice. So I forgot something actually. There's one addition to the feet that I can add which really help with their overall durability and help them grip the ground better. And I'm going to use these in the process too, actually. Okay, so this stuff is called DABCHICK'S. Here's a little strip of the stuff, and I use this kind of like a hole punch to get nice consistent results. So there we go. Okay, a friend called me up last minute to go for a drink, but I'm back now. Thank you for your patience. What are we doing? Yeah, so I have these little pieces cut out here. These are these strips of DABCHICK'S. The reason for adding DABCHICK'S is twofold. Firstly, it creates a really good grip on whatever surface Dabchick is walking around on. And the other thing is whatever surface he might be walking around on could be rough. And if a hole is rubbed in the silicon, that hole is going to run. Silicon tears very easily once a hole has been created. These corner points here, these are all quite vulnerable to holes developing. So we're going to glue DABCHICK'S strips around there and there and there, basically over those areas to act almost like a sole to his shoe, almost. There, like that. And we'll get the DABCHICK'S and put it on like that. So we'll do that on all of the toes and all of the little knuckle bits there, front and back. See a little bit of an overhang in some of these areas, so I'm going to trim them off. I can display the difference in grip. So with this one, you push down, and you see how it really does want to grip, whereas if you, even when you push down with this one, it slides fairly easily. So of course we'll do the same to the other one. Okay, putting the last one on, and guess how many strips of DABCHICK'S we have left after this? 0. I am the king of eyeballing, honestly. Okay, there we go. Double grips. Gonna stick it on the wall to really challenge the stickiness. My goodness, that's good. When the feet plant. They really just stick there. It's wonderful. Great. Okay, we're about 1 month on. I'm in a different location and my hair is about half an inch longer. But some change was made to the feet. It's a minor change in some senses because the production process was pretty much exactly the same. But I did change the color, i.e. using slightly different silicon. So now we have this browner color here, and I'll show you why I did it. So I'll just compare it to the body here. And it is just a bit more subtle in a nice way. The yellow ones did draw just too much attention to the feet, and the feet aren't necessarily the most expressive element of Dabchick. They play their role for sure, but they jumped out a bit too much. So yeah, the brown color for me is better. I'll show you some shots of these moving around if you like. So here we go, very similar to the first ones obviously, but brown. Yeah, so that's the end of this one. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to support my work, here is a link to my Patreon. All of the donations go towards my work and getting Dabchick up and running again. And we are in the home straight now. I would say 1 or 2 more episodes, and he will be back with us. Is the world ready? I'm not sure, but he's coming. Thank you for watching.